The secret your grandmother knew. How to live in peace without exhaustion. Your home doesn't have to control your life anymore. Most people think a peaceful home comes from working harder, buying more organizers, following complicated systems. But what if the real secret is actually the opposite? What if the people who live in the calmest homes are doing less, not more? My name is Marcus, and I've spent the last year studying the homes of seniors who live alone and manage everything beautifully, without burning out, without fancy gadgets, without feeling constantly behind. And I discovered something remarkable. There are 7 simple habits that change everything. If you're tired of clutter stealing your peace, if you want to finally feel in control of your space, and if you'd like to age gracefully without the weight of endless tasks, stay with me. And please, if this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button right now. We share these kinds of videos every single week, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Also, like this video and drop a comment below telling me what frustrates you most about your home. Your feedback helps us create exactly what you need. Let's discover how to transform your living space into a sanctuary. The foundation: understanding true order. When I first stepped into Margaret's home, I wasn't prepared for what I felt. The house itself was ordinary. The walls were simple, the furniture wasn't new. But the moment I crossed the threshold, something shifted inside me. My shoulders dropped. My breathing became deeper. The air felt different. Not empty, but full of intention. It was as if the entire space had been waiting all day for her return, ready to welcome her into rest instead of chaos. There was no visual noise, no stacks of things she'd get to eventually, no papers gathering dust in the corner, no clothes draped over chairs from days ago. Instead, there existed a quiet rhythm, a sense that everything in this home served a purpose and knew its place. Her shoes were aligned by the entrance. The kitchen towels hung with precision and care. The living room contained only what she needed: a comfortable chair, a small table, and a handful of books arranged with intention. The space didn't demand anything from her. It simply existed in harmony. When I asked her how she maintained this peace without constant effort, Margaret paused and smiled. She didn't answer with a complicated method or a strict schedule. Instead, she said something that stayed with me. "I don't clean all the time. I simply live in a way that doesn't create mess." That was the turning point in my understanding. Most of us assume that peaceful homes belong to people with more time, more energy, or better genetics. But Margaret showed me something different. Her home reflected decades of small, intentional choices. Not perfection, never perfection, just presence, just care. Before you continue watching, share this video with someone you know who could use this message. They need it, and so do we. Sharing helps our Seniors Cleaning Hacks channel reach more people who are searching for this exact kind of peace. Thank you for helping us grow. Now let's explore the first habit that makes everything else possible. Habit 1. Everything returns home. Think about the last time you spent 15 minutes searching for something you couldn't find. Perhaps it was your glasses, maybe it was your phone, or that receipt you needed for an appointment. The frustration builds as you retrace your steps, opening drawers, checking pockets, retracing your morning. And just when your patience wears thin, you discover it somewhere illogical, a place it never belonged. Margaret never experienced this frustration. In her home, every single object had one sacred rule. It possessed a designated resting place. The television remote always returned to the same corner of the coffee table. Her glasses rested on a small dish beside her reading chair. The keys hung on a specific hook by the door. Always the same hook. Even her personal items were treated with this same respect. The handkerchief folded and placed in the same drawer. The watch set on the nightstand in precisely the same spot. When I asked if she spent hours each day organizing and reorganizing, she smiled gently. "No," she said, "I simply bring things home." That simple statement contained profound wisdom. I realized that my own clutter didn't emerge from chaos or disorder. It came from countless small decisions left incomplete. A jacket thrown across the back of a chair because I didn't walk it to the closet. A cup placed near the sink instead of in the dishwasher. Mail collected on the kitchen counter instead of being sorted immediately. A book left on the table instead of returned to the shelf. None of these actions seemed significant alone, but together they created visual noise, mental confusion, and emotional weight. Margaret explained it this way: when things don't know where they belong, they feel lost, and you feel lost too. But when everything has a home, everything can rest, and so can you. I decided to test this principle with one small change in my own living space. I chose the television remote, something I used multiple times daily. After each use, instead of leaving it on the couch or the armrest, I returned it to the small basket on the bookshelf. For 1 week, I committed to this single habit. Something unexpected happened. My mind felt lighter. The constant low-level searching and frustration disappeared. I stopped asking my family members, "Where's the remote?" I stopped retracing my steps. The mental energy I'd been spending on locating items suddenly freed itself up. I had more focus, more calm, more capacity for other things. Being organized isn't about doing more work. It's about preventing small frustrations from accumulating into big stress. It's about honoring your future self by making their day easier. Before we move forward, I want to challenge you with something. Take 5 minutes right now and ask yourself this honest question. Do the things in my home know where they belong? If you cannot answer yes to most of your possessions, write down 3 items you'll assign homes to this week. Tell us in the comments what you choose. I read every comment and I'd love to celebrate this small step with you. Habit 2. The 1-minute decision. We sat together sharing tea one afternoon when something small happened that changed my perspective entirely. A single drop, barely a drop, of tea landed on Margaret's table. Just a small spill, the kind most of us would notice and mentally note to clean later. She didn't pause the conversation. She didn't sigh or frown. She simply set down her cup, reached for the cloth she kept nearby, wiped the spot gently, and returned to our discussion as if the moment had never interrupted. Curious, I asked, "Why do you clean that immediately instead of waiting for later?" Margaret's answer was both simple and wise. If something requires less than 1 minute to complete, I do it in that moment. That's how I keep my life light. This wasn't a rule imposed from outside. It was a rhythm she developed, a natural way of moving through her day that prevented small tasks from piling up into overwhelming mountains. I began to notice the pattern. A cup needed rinsing. She rinsed it immediately. A chair needed to be pushed back into place. She did it right then. A small spot needed wiping. Done. Not saved for later. Not added to a growing mental list. Handled gently in the present moment. Later, I reflected on my own life and recognized a troubling pattern. That same drop of tea in my home would have sat on the table. I'd have seen it and thought, "I'll get to it later." But later never came peacefully. Instead, the next cup would join it. Then the plate from lunch, the unopened mail, the stack of clothes. The pile grew silently, and my emotional weight grew with it. Margaret described what I'd experienced. I don't enjoy going to bed with small tasks chasing me through my mind, so I handle them one by one, gently, and let them go. That sentence contained a lesson about protecting your mental health. As we age, our energy becomes increasingly precious and finite. We cannot afford to waste it on guilt, regret, or mental clutter. Carrying an invisible to-do list throughout your day makes every moment feel heavier. It drains your spirit before you even begin important tasks. I began experimenting with this principle. If a task took under 1 minute, wiping a spill, rinsing a dish, folding a single towel, or returning an item to its place, I did it immediately, and something remarkable occurred. The house remained clearer, but more importantly, my mind remained lighter. You don't need to clean your entire kitchen. Simply rinse that one cup. You don't need to fold all the laundry. Just smooth out the towel that's hanging crooked. You don't need to tackle everything at once. Just handle the one thing in front of you right now. And if even that feels overwhelming, here's the beautiful part. The next habit requires even less energy. Just 5 minutes before you close your eyes for the night. If you're finding this helpful, please like this video. Those likes help our algorithm show seniors cleaning hacks to more people your age who desperately need this message. And if you have a friend or family member who's struggling with clutter and stress, share this video with them right now. They need to hear this, and you'd be doing them a genuine favor.
Habit 3. The evening close. Our final conversation together took place in the soft light of early evening. As we prepared to say goodbye, Margaret rose from her chair and lifted a gentle hand. "One moment," she said. "I need to complete the day." She didn't rush. Her movements held no stress or urgency. She simply moved into her kitchen with a sense of purpose. In 5 quiet minutes, she accomplished what seemed impossible. She put the small snacks away, rinsed 2 teacups with care, wiped the table where we'd been sitting, and straightened the chairs we'd moved. Then she turned back to me with a smile. Not exhausted, but genuinely satisfied. Now, the day is truly complete. This wasn't about achieving perfection or creating a showroom. It was about closure, about honoring the day that was ending and preparing for the one beginning. Margaret shared her philosophy. "I don't wait for my home to become messy before I clean it. I simply return it to peace before I rest." In that moment, I saw myself clearly. How many nights had I left dirty dishes in the sink, promising myself I'd handle it tomorrow? How many times had I climbed into bed while chaos remained downstairs? How many mornings had I woken to yesterday's mess, starting each new day already behind? What I hadn't realized was the psychological weight this created. I was beginning every morning from a position of deficit. My space was greeting me with evidence of incompletion, with neglect, with the consequences of my choices from the night before. Margaret wasn't attempting to be perfect. She was simply setting the stage for tomorrow, creating conditions where she could wake peacefully, where her environment said, "You're ready. You've already begun." And here's what matters. 5 minutes truly isn't a large commitment. It might be organizing the living room, washing one plate, turning a chair back into alignment. Not for beauty, not for others to see, simply for your own peace, for your own sense of completion. Many of us worry that as we grow older, we lack the strength for thorough cleaning. And that's true. But 5 minutes, 5 quiet minutes, everyone still possesses that gift. It requires no special strength or endless energy. I implemented this habit in my own home. Before bed, I selected 3 small tasks, just 3. I wiped the kitchen counter, I folded one blanket, I straightened a small area. The transformation was striking. The next morning, something shifted. It wasn't only my home that felt ready and prepared. I felt ready too. My spirit greeted the new day from a position of completion rather than overwhelm. And now, if you're currently thinking, "My living space is too cramped, too cluttered, too overwhelming to possibly start this," then Margaret's next habit might surprise you, because it's not actually about having more space. It's about giving the space you do have a clearer mission. Habit 4. Each space has one purpose. I began to notice something unusual as I walked through Margaret's home. Every single area possessed a distinct job. The dining table held one purpose and one purpose alone: eating meals. No scattered documents, no devices or phones, no unread mail creating visual stress. Just the table, waiting to serve its function. The sitting room contained one comfortable chair, a small table for tea, and several beloved books arranged neatly. Nothing extra. No decorative pieces crowding the surfaces. No items gathering dust. Just what was needed and deeply loved. When I asked if she ever felt limited by this approach, if she struggled to find places for things, Margaret smiled knowingly. "I don't require more places," she explained. "I simply need each place to clearly understand its purpose." Simple. But the implications were profound. I thought of my own living situation. My couch had become an unofficial office. My kitchen counter held my laptop and work materials. My dining table functioned as both eating space and storage area for things I hadn't decided about yet. The bedroom housed a television, despite the fact that I rarely actually watched it. Everything in my home was doing multiple jobs, and suddenly it made complete sense why nothing felt restful. When a space loses its identity, when it loses its singular purpose, it loses its ability to bring peace. Margaret expressed this clearly. When you mix eating, resting, and working in the same place, your body becomes confused about what it should be doing. But when you protect each space's specific role, you protect your own rhythm. This insight landed deeply, because many of us, especially as we age, begin feeling lost, not just emotionally, but spatially. Our homes feel cramped, messy, and overwhelming. But the actual problem isn't the size of the space. The problem is confusion about purpose. Mail gathered on the table creates confusion. Laundry draped on the couch creates confusion. A television in the bedroom creates confusion. These blurred lines result in blurred thinking and blurred peace. I attempted something modest with this knowledge. I cleared my dining table completely. Then I made myself a promise. This space belonged only to eating. No laptop, no bills, no work, no scrolling. Just meals. Just the experience of nourishment and being present. And something shifted. Eating became an actual moment, instead of something I rushed through while doing 3 other things. Meals felt intentional. They felt like rest. Not multitasking, not rushing. Just eating and being fully present. Your living space doesn't require more square footage to feel peaceful. It requires clearer boundaries. When each area maintains its voice, when each zone maintains its purpose, they don't fight each other. They don't compete for your attention. They work together seamlessly to make your day feel smoother and your life feel more organized. Please subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks if you haven't already. We create new content every week focused specifically on making your life simpler and more peaceful. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And comment below, what room in your home could most benefit from having a clearer purpose? I'm genuinely curious about your biggest challenge. Habit 5. Preparing tonight for tomorrow morning. Margaret never stumbled through her mornings. She didn't rush frantically searching for her keys. She didn't stand confused in front of her closet trying to decide what to wear. She didn't pour tea hastily while forgetting to actually eat breakfast. She didn't start her day from a position of panic or behind schedule. The reason was beautifully simple. She prepared for tomorrow while completing today. Each evening, I observed her spend approximately 10 minutes intentionally. She laid out her clothes on the chair where she'd dress. She folded a handkerchief and positioned it carefully on top. She rinsed her teacup and placed it by the sink, ready for morning. She filled a glass with fresh water and positioned it on her nightstand. She checked each door, ensuring it was locked with care and intention. It was quiet. It was minimal. But it represented something deeper, a ritual of respect for the woman she would be the following morning. Margaret explained her philosophy. Morning is when our minds are most vulnerable and fragile. So I create a clear path for myself. I remove obstacles before they can stress me. I recognized the beauty in this approach because I understood my own morning struggle. My typical mornings involved rushing to locate matching socks, reboiling the kettle because I'd forgotten about the first pot, searching for my phone while simultaneously looking for my glasses. I was starting each day from a place of catching up rather than moving forward, from a place of stress rather than calm. And I realized the chaos actually didn't originate from the day itself, it came directly from how I'd completed the previous evening. I tested this principle with a single small action. Before bed, I filled my water bottle and positioned it on my nightstand. Just that one thing. The next morning, something felt different. The water was already waiting. I wasn't scrambling. I wasn't frustrated. I could take a moment to drink before doing anything else. It seemed like a tiny gesture, but it contained meaning. It meant I had cared for myself. It meant I had honored my future self, even when I was exhausted. This is what Margaret had learned through the years. Preparation isn't about discipline or control. It's not rigid. It's actually an expression of kindness directed toward yourself. Kindness toward your aging body. Kindness toward that part of you wanting to wait gradually, without panic, without pressure, without the immediate rush. As we grow older, we don't require more energy. We require more gentleness.
More softness, more compassion for our changing bodies and shifting capacities. Sometimes the most tender gift we can offer ourselves is knowing the morning has already been made slightly easier. The path has already been cleared. Share this video with someone you care about who struggles with mornings. They'll be grateful and will be grateful too. Sharing is what allows Seniors Cleaning Hacks to help more people living alone who need this kind of support and encouragement. Habit 6. Gratitude as a practice. It happened so quietly that I almost failed to notice it at all. After we finished our final cup of tea together, Margaret rinsed the cup with care. She dried it with a soft cloth, treating it gently. Then she did something unexpected. She pressed her hands together in front of the cup just for a moment and bowed very slightly. I watched, uncertain about what I was witnessing. "What are you doing?" I asked gently. Margaret smiled with genuine warmth. "I'm thanking the cup for serving me today." That sentence stopped me completely. Not because it was unusual or strange, but because it was so fundamentally kind, so human, so rarely practiced in our hurried modern lives. In Margaret's home, nothing was treated as merely an object. The teacup wasn't just ceramic. The slippers weren't simply footwear. The chair wasn't merely furniture. Each possessed a role. Each deserved respect. Each was part of her daily life and therefore worthy of gratitude. Margaret shared more about her philosophy. "I once lived with very little, so now I don't keep things I don't truly use. But the items that stay with me, those receive my appreciation." I examined my own home with new awareness that same week. There were so many possessions I had kept but never genuinely appreciated. A plate given by my grandmother. A pen I'd used for years. The coat protecting me through every winter. The everyday lamp lighting my evenings. The chair supporting me while I read. And yet I had never paused, not even once, to express gratitude for any of them. Margaret's home felt peaceful. But the reason wasn't because it was clean or empty. It felt peaceful because it was saturated with kindness. Not just kindness toward people, but toward everything that accompanied her through life. Toward every object, every creature, every moment. Gratitude became her method of anchoring herself to the present. It transformed daily routines into sacred rituals. It elevated ordinary objects into companions. It converted a simple house into a sanctuary. And I believe this is what many of us are genuinely searching for. Not perfection, not sterile emptiness. We want meaning. We want to feel that even the smallest, most ordinary actions matter. We want our homes to feel like they're embracing us rather than judging us. So tonight, when you fold a towel, pause briefly. When you turn off the lamp, acknowledge it. When you position your glasses carefully on the table, say quietly, "Thank you for helping me see today. Thank you for being with me." Because this single habit, this practice of quiet gratitude, might be the delicate thread connecting your home and your heart together. It might be exactly what transforms a space from being simply clean into being genuinely peaceful. Habit 7. The rhythm of completion. Margaret taught me that living peacefully isn't about doing more. It's about creating systems that feel natural, systems that don't require constant willpower or discipline. It's about moving through your day in a rhythm that prevents overwhelm before it begins. When everything has a home, you don't spend mental energy searching. When you handle small tasks immediately, you don't accumulate guilt. When you close your day with 5 minutes of intention, you wake ready. When each space has a clear purpose, you don't feel confused. And when you prepare for tomorrow tonight, you don't start from behind. And when you practice gratitude, you remember why any of this matters. These habits don't require expensive systems or complicated methods. They don't depend on your age or your remaining energy. They depend only on choosing gentleness, choosing presence, choosing yourself. The truth is simple. You deserve a home that feels peaceful. You deserve a space that supports rather than stresses you. You deserve a life that feels manageable and gentle. Subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks right now and never miss another episode. Like this video and share it with someone who needs this message today. Comment below telling us which habit resonates most deeply with you. I read and respond to every comment. Let's build a community of people choosing peace over perfection. Your home doesn't have to control your life. It can become your sanctuary instead. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Marcus, and I'll see you in the next video.